They are exposed to many different forces, economic forces, health, their own anxieties, their own confusion, let's say, of values. In all the years that I have been in the mental health field and working with families, I have yet to find one parent who deliberately is irresponsible. People are caught up in this with a degree of helplessness.
I think that there is just a myriad of issues that happen when you're thinking about family. You have your own vision about how you were raised. And so those values come into play, right? We're going to parent the way we were parented. And so that's going to be our first natural instinct to do that. I think economically and socially, there's just so many things that are happening for families today and for our parents. And so, you know, if our parents are set off in a really good way, in a sense of, you know, they sent our children off in a good way, which is why I think it's really important to make sure that, you know, especially children going to school, you wake up, you get them up, they move in a good direction, you send them off well, would more than likely equate to them having a good day at school. If there is stress or pressure or not that positive connection prior to, that enables, or I would say maybe it's a difficult, more of a difficult approach for them to be in that environment, right? So anxiety and chaos creates perhaps negative impact. And then our ability to, as a parent, to navigate our own anxiety and chaos results in whether we're going to parent positively or negatively. So it really is a vicious circle, and it all starts with us as parents to be really thinking about where are we showing up at? How can we show up differently? Because whatever we do will elicit a response from our children. And that's no different from any adult in a child's life.
And it's so much easier to feel self-righteous and, you know, talk about these awful people out there. And it is a little harder to say, therefore the grace of God go I. And another question that keeps going through my mind is, you talk about the abused children or the children who have parents who are not good parents to the children. How can these children grow up to be all of a sudden these powerful, omnipotent, omniscient, marvelous parents?
They can't.
They can't. And, you know, today's parents once were children who had short of perfect homes, families themselves. That's what I'm talking. It's such a complex network of forces.
And so I think that, you know, the way my needs were met as a child is going to instinctually be the way I'm going to meet my children's needs. And so some of us that didn't have really necessarily good role models for parenting have to work really hard at that, because my natural instinct is to parent the way I was parented. And if that wasn't so good, or it wasn't to the best of my parents' ability, then I'm going to have to work really harder at parenting differently. And I think generationally, we can all get there. We can all get stressed out to the max. And what differs from us creating child abuse and neglect in our home is our ability to cope in our ecosystem around us. So if we have someone that we can tap into to help us support, to alleviate some of our stress, we're less likely to play that out differently.
When each child knows there is a place for me and I have a right over certain things, all of a sudden the children share toys, there is much more calmness. Each child gets some individualized attention rather than parents over here, children over here, and everything being a massive confusion. And you can translate that into other and broader situations.
And so I think that, you know, it's very difficult for me when I'm listening to individuals talk about those people, because those people are our people, and our people need support and care just as anyone else. And so I think it's really important for us to know that healthy children equal healthy families equal healthy communities. And it's a lot easier to point a finger than it is to offer a hand up. And so, my call to action as community is to offer a hand up, because at any given moment, I'm going to need that hand, and I'm going to be looking for someone to step in and support me with that. Whether it be child abuse and neglect, whether it be going through grief, whatever the case may be, I think it's important for us to be kind and good humans, because, I've had awful parenting days as well. And it may not have resulted in abuse or neglect. It still wasn't the best that I could have been. And so just looking at it through that lens, and recognizing that, I have never, in all my years of being in the work that we do, no one wakes up to suck. And parents don't wake up to suck. They really wake up to be doing the best job that they can. And some days it's just really hard. So just recognizing that, because I think we can all relate to that. I can wake up and try and just do the best job I can to make it through with all the stressors and pressures that I have. And I don't think anybody that is impacted by child abuse, neglect, or inflicts that is any different.
And hopefully there are enough of us who have respect for the individual and enough flexibility to stand by, allowing for this or that individual to work out their own values and their own place in life.
So we all need help and support at any given moment in parenting. Again, it is the hardest job that we will ever have to do. And so it takes a village to raise children. That old adage does not fall far from this perspective, is that it takes all of us to care and be concerned for the life of a child, not just one human.